This is the story of a woman who not only went on to become the second practicing female doctor in India, but also became a force against child marriage and other social evils. She broke through the cage young girls are forcibly placed in and went on to achieve so many milestones and influence generations of women in India. She went from being a child bride to a practicing doctor at a time when women weren't really becoming doctors. This is the story of Rukma Bai. Rukma was born on the 22nd of November 1864. At just 11 years old, she was forced to marry the 19-year-old Dadaji Bhikhaji. But in a change of events, Dadaji stayed with Rukma's family instead of Rukma going to his, on the condition that he would be well educated and become a respected man who earned a good salary. But unfortunately, Dadaji wasn't the smartest person. He only completed the 5th standard when he was 20 years old. 6 months later, Rukma reached puberty. As per the tradition, it was time for their marriage to be consummated. But Rukma's stepfather vehemently opposed this. He was a physicist who knew the dangers of early consummation. So, an angry Dadaji left Rukma's home and went to live with his uncle. While there, he amassed massive debts and became somewhat of a couch potato. When Rukma was a little older, Dadaji called her to live with him so that they could start their life as a married couple. But Rukma refused to be with him. Even after a decade of marriage, Rukma did not want to be with the husband she was forced to marry. She was just a child when they married. They weren't compatible. She prioritized her education and knew that if she went with Dadaji, she wouldn't be able to continue her studies. Angered, Dadaji sued Rukma, claiming that her refusal to live with him was a violation of his marital rights. Due to the bizarreness of this case, it was heavily publicized, both in India and in Britain. For the first time, a fight contesting a commonly practiced Hindu custom was taken to court. It made it to the front pages of several newspapers and magazines in India and in England. Many notable people, such as Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Rudyard Kipling, publicly expressed their polarizing opinions. The case opened broader feminist arguments within Indian and British society. It brought to light the controversial discussion on how deeply we should blindly follow the traditions that can have a detrimental impact on the physical and mental state of a person, all in the name of religion. Some claimed that Rukma did not respect Hindu rituals and called her a traitor, while others called Rukma a hero for breaking the glass ceiling against child marriage. During the trial, Rukma wrote several articles in the Times of India. In them, she described how being forced into marriage at such a young age had destroyed her happiness, and that it came between her studies and mental cultivation, the two things she prized more than anything else. At first, the judge ruled in favor of Rukma, claiming that she couldn't be forced to live with Dadaji as she was just a child when they got married. But the judgment received a lot of criticism from Hindus. They believed the court to be too westernized and that it did not respect the Hindu customs and rituals. Public debates all over India, the discussion regarding Hindu versus British law ensued. Many found Rukma's behavior odd and blamed the English educational system for westernizing her and not giving any importance to traditional Hindu laws. The case was appealed, and this time, Rukma was told to either go live with her husband or face 6 months in prison. Rukma boldly stood her ground and told them that she would rather go to jail than live with her husband. She wrote to Queen Victoria, urging her to intervene in the matter and overturn the ruling. The Queen agreed to step in. She found Rukma's arguments compelling and was moved by her writings. She overruled the court's judgment and declared the marriage between Rukma and Dadaji dissolved. At first, Dadaji was furious. He was hoping to clear his debts with the money Rukma would bring with her had she moved in with him. But after receiving a compensation of 2,000 rupees, he finally agreed to let Rukma go. Rukma's courage to stand up for herself created a ripple effect for women's rights and progressing their status in society. In 1891, the Age of Consent Act was amended from 10 years old to 12 years old. Although it doesn't seem like a huge change now, back in the late 1800s, it was monumental. After the case, Rukma was now legally a free woman. She could do whatever she wanted. So, she decided to study. Inspired by women like Anandibai Joshi, Rukma too recognized the devastating situation of women's healthcare in India and understood the need for women doctors. Once again, she broke traditions by pursuing a medical career. She traveled to London, where she studied medicine and successfully obtained her degree. She returned to India in 1895 and worked as a chief medical practitioner in Surat and Rajkot until she retired in 1929. Rukma continued to advocate for women's rights and the abolishment of dangerous traditions. She wrote articles explaining the need to stop discriminatory practices like parda, gender disparity, and the treatment of widows in society. She battled several notable people who had a disdain for her progressive views. Rukma's contributions to women's equality and reforming social views made the foundation with which the feminist movement began in India. Her efforts in the field of medicine inspired a generation of women to break free and pursue their own passions. Stories of her unrelenting spirit to bash the patriarchal norms deserve to be widely told and learned from. With this, we reach the end of today's episode. We would love to know how the story of Rukma Bai has inspired you. Share your thoughts by connecting with us on our social media handle at Epilog Media on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. For more stories of immaculate women who shattered glass ceilings, subscribe now to the Women in History podcast.